Okay, boys and girls, everybody that wants to come. I don't know if Beth is conning her to may be too scary. Those two have grown. You can come with them if you want to, if they'll come. Hello, come on down. We're going to have some fun here for a minute. It looks like something we've never done before. This Ella and John Luke are all growing up. This is Avery. That's one of my granddaughters, and Addison. Avery and Addison. That's John Luke. And that's Ella. We're glad that you're here today. Well, this seems like I approached this object lesson with fear and trembling because I don't have much air anymore. I said, well, Brother John, Pops, you're full of hot air. You've got plenty of air. But I run short of air. Breathing is more difficult than before. But I have something here that requires breathing. It always kind of amuses me when people kind of want to help. And they're trying to, you're going through a difficult time and maybe you're nervous or you're anxious about something. They'll say, well, just breathe. Just breathe? That's the problem. I wasn't breathing. That's what was wrong. I just need to breathe. I remember that was my part when Carice was born. I had to help her mother breathe. We had breathing and like that. That probably makes no sense to you whatsoever, but it gave me something to do. It made me feel important. Well, I showed this to Addison not too long ago. She had no idea in the world what it was, and she may have forgotten now. I haven't showed it to Avery. It's still a secret to Avery. But let me take it out and show it to you. It's the hardest part of the whole demonstration. See that? It's it's kind of a little box, a long box. It's got holes in it right here, 10 holes. And inside there are little shafts, little flakes, little flecks, little openings. My grandmother called this a mouth organ. Now, if that don't sound like fun, I don't know what does. Goes right through your head bone, doesn't it? It's called a harmonica. A harmonica. And probably the very first time I ever heard of a harmonica was that I had a record when I was a little boy. There was a chipmunk that wanted to play his during the song. And evidently he wasn't being allowed to. Alvin wanted to play his harmonica. I want to play my harmonica. And he could play it pretty good too, but it just really, they didn't want it. This is not the time to play the harmonica. It's just like it's the simplest thing, and yet one of my favorite songs is a song by Billy Joel called Piano Man. And Billy plays the piano. And this is still one of my most favorite songs that he does. And he has a kind of a thing that fits around his neck that holds his harmonica for him. And there's a certain place in the song where he plays the piano and the harmonica, but he can't hold it with his hands. That's the problem here. Piano Man. But I really became fascinated. Now see, Miss Terry, your Mimi, Miss Terry, and Danny, he's my brother, and we all attended the same elementary school when we were little. And about 2 or 3 times a year, entertainers would come to our school. It's the most magical thing, the most amazing thing. It's just something we all took for granted, I guess. But magicians and singers would come, and we had a special man come who played the guitar, and he had one of these harmonicas around his neck, and he had cymbals on his knees. He was a one-man band. I don't know what his name was. I wish I remembered. This was way back in the 60s. This was over 50 years ago. And you know what he had? He had a talking harmonica. A talking harmonica. It went kind of like this. And say, what? He said, hey, mama. He had a harmonica that would call for his mama. And he'd talk to it. He'd say, what, son? Because he played the part of the mama. And that harmonica would say, I want a drink of water. You want a drink of water? And he had us all convinced that the harmonica was talking. Hey, mama, what's on? I want a drink of water. Now, I'm going to be talking with your parents today and with the adults. There was a time when Jesus talked about his breath. He actually breathed on his disciples, and it was a way of showing. He says, I don't want to. He says, this represents me breathing my life into you. You know, you blow your breath into this. But as far as instruments go, and if you ever played in the band, or if you were ever in a marching band, you know what category this kind of instrument fits into? It's with the clarinets and the saxophones and the flutes. You know what they're called? They're called, I think I heard somebody say it. Wind instruments. They're all wind instruments, whether they have wood or not. This is not one that uses wood, but they are all wind instruments. In other words, you have to blow into them. Now, you blow into a trumpet, but it's called the brass instrument. Harmonicas are especially good for playing the blues, I think. There are certain songs that I do on my ukulele. They kind of sound like you. Skin-a-marinky-dinky-dink, skin-a-marinky-doo, I love you. That's a ukulele song. You learned that one yet? I have to. This is the bluest song I know. Actually, it's a country song. That's a Hank Williams Sr. song. He wrote that. It's called I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. The thing about playing the harmonica, it's not just something you play with your breath or with your mouth, but you can play it with your hands. You can actually make it talk. And it's what I would think of as kind of like making it go wah, wah, wah. You ever heard that? talking with your folks about what gave us our first spark of life. It's when God breathed into us. If the Bible talks about his breath, like, if you can't breathe, you can't live. Well, the breath of God is the life of God. It's the existence, it's the life of God. I want you to think about, you might want to get your harmonica. They're fun to play. But more than anything, think about how God can live his life in you and in me. And we never, ever, ever really, once we know the Lord, we ever have to be lonesome, especially so lonesome that we would cry. We're never alone. He is with us. All right? Thank you. Y'all can go back and sit with your folks again. Your folks, your mama has left you. Go to Anna. Thank you, folks.
I won't say that. I won't say you.
Just went to the bathroom, to the restroom.